Auburn, the 14 seed, pulling an upset yesterday. Can they pull an even bigger one today is the question against 6th-seeded Texas A&M. It's day 2 of 5 here at the 2026 SEC Softball Tournament on the SEC Network, presented by T-Mobile. Auburn was down 2-0, 5 batters into the game for Missouri yesterday, but the Tigers held firm and scored 6 runs in the final 2 innings. Go-ahead home run by Haven Roebuck, then Kyla Stroud off the bench in a pinch with another blast. A 6-2 win sends Auburn into the second round. A quadruple header of second-round games today. Arkansas and Mississippi State to follow, still to come Tennessee, Ole Miss, and LSU, Georgia. Great to be with you. Thanks for being back at Lexington with us early in the morning. Kevin Brown, 2-time All-American, Amanda Scarborough. Great first day of the SEC tournament. Some new teams, as you just heard Courtney say, joined the party today, including the Aggies, who were the co-champs, Amanda, of this event a year ago.
Yeah, another solid year in the SEC for Texas A&M with their new head coach, or not new anymore. I guess this is her 4th year, but the way that she's been able to take over this program and make them a true contender in the SEC regular season. In fact, they were just 1 win away from finishing as the 3 seed. They ended up losing an extra game to Oklahoma. They played them tight this weekend, or this past weekend, I should say. But this is an A&M offense that just has gotten better every single year. And with Maya Perez being an everyday starter for 2 years in a row and the centerpiece of their lineup, she is a left-handed power hitter that you're going to have to deal with. You circle the name of Maya Perez in the lineup for A&M if you are the opponent. They've added some transfer portal pieces around her, but 50 walks by Maya Perez. If you give her anything to hit, she is likely to hit a home run or an extra base hit. One of the best on-base percentages in the country, hitting an on-base percentage of over 600, and she is the only D1 player to reach base safely in every game.
Going back to last year, Perez has reached in 55 consecutive games. Here's the Auburn lineup to face Texas A&M. If it looks familiar, it's the same starting 9 as yesterday for Chris and Kate Malveaux, the co-head coaches, including Roebuck, whose home run yesterday gave Auburn the lead for good in the 6th inning. Just minutes ago, the sun has come out. So beautiful sunshine for some baseball and a little bit of a chilly Wednesday. And it's Sydney Lessentine, the sophomore, who gets the ball to start A&M's tournament run. Lessentine's first pitch today at 11:02 to Kylie Shaw, the very patient Tiger left fielder, who sees ball 1.
Lessentine has kind of been co-aces with the other Sydney, who spells her name drastically different from this Sydney. On staff with Texas A&M, Sydney Lessentine and Sydney Peters getting the bulk of the starts for the Aggies this year.
Lessentine hits the inside. Megan Rabin is the plate umpire. Anthony Small at first. Chris Neighbors at third today. Shaw was a great table setter yesterday morning. Started the game with a triple, walked twice, so reached base 3 out of 4 times. One of the most patient hitters in the country with 52 walks. And a close one here is wide for ball 2. Auburn 26-27 to be eligible to make the NCAA tournament. You have to be 500 or better, so they need 2 more wins. It figures that, especially with a quote-unquote weaker bubble, and if you get to 500 in the SEC with your strength of schedule, and Auburn's strength of schedule is very good, number 6, they make the tournament if they can pull off an upset here, and then of number 3 Florida tomorrow. Tall task, but it was a tall task yesterday, falling behind 2-0 after 5 Missouri batters and rallying to win. Shaw takes a changeup for strike 3, and Lessentine starts her game with a K.
With Sydney Lessentine, you're going to have to deal with really a 3-pitch mix. She'll go up in the zone with her rise ball. She wants you to chase that pitch up out of the zone, especially to righties, up and in on their hands. The changeup has been a great pitch for her, as well as her curveball. So those 3 pitches, rise, changeup, and curve, are her 3-pitch mix. Changeup to the strikeout of Kylie Shaw, getting it right at the knees on the outside corner.
Best way to approach her specific mix if you're Auburn?
I'd look for that curveball. Either being a righty or a lefty. She'll use her drop ball a little bit more this season, something that she developed in her sophomore year.
Alyssa Hastings with a pop-up into left field, and Paisley Allen puts her away for a quick second out.
just been a different role for Sydney Lessentine, and of course Sydney Peters dealt with some injuries last season, so didn't get to pitch as much as she would have liked. But with the graduation of Emily Kennedy, it's been a very different looking Texas A&M pitching staff with some transfers, and Lessentine kind of blossoming as this co-ace.
2 down, Michaela Walker drives that first pitch deep to left field and gone. A first pitch assault from Walker, her 12th home run of the season, and the Auburn Bats, which got hot late in the game yesterday, stay hot early on day 2.
We saw yesterday Auburn take care of some curveballs on the outer half to them against some good pitching that they saw late in the game. This is a backdoor curveball or a low rise ball that Walker just is able to keep her hands inside of and pull down the left field line. A solo home run by Walker to get Auburn on the board first. What is that, 3 home runs in their last 3 innings that they've had?
That's right. After no runs in the first 5 innings of this SEC tournament, a big swing for Michaela Walker, and Auburn strikes first. Walker, who hit 8 home runs her first month of the season, had been just 6 for her last 54. That's a 111 average in 21 games. Strike now to Annalee Adams, 1-1. Chris Malveaux was hoping for better at-bats from Walker and Adams. They were 1 for 6, but a walk and a hit by pitch combined yesterday. Walker with a home run. And now the sophomore Adams, a first-team All-SEC player last year.
Ball's out.
And he takes one just off the corner, according to Megan Rabenzone. I just did not know if this team would flip the switch come postseason play, Chris Malveaux. But talked about after yesterday's game how refreshing it was to feel his team free it up and figure it out a bit as the game was going on, and they come out swinging freely today.
And Kate Malveaux, the co-head coach of Auburn, and Chris's wife talked about that attack mode mentality that you saw in the later innings as well. And he played with that aggressive attack mode, free mentality. It was almost as if Missouri kind of opened the door defensively to give Auburn some confidence late in the game, and they just capitalized on it.
Adams drives away at 3-2. First Auburn run in the 6th inning came on a throwing error from the catcher Stefania Abriscato, when Alyssa Hastings was caught between third and home in a failed squeeze play. Abriscato threw it away. Auburn got the first run, and that seemed to open the floodgates. Here's the 7th pitch to Adams. Line sharply down to third. Kennedy Powell picks it and throws her out. Good play by Powell, but a good swing by Michaela Walker. And Auburn opens day 2 with a long ball.
Burst of home runs off the Auburn Bats at the SEC tournament. Michaela Walker, the senior, a solo home run, getting on top of the Aggies early in this game.
The 2026 SEC Softball Tournament on the SEC Network is presented by T-Mobile, America's best network.
The Texas A&M Aggies, the 6th seed here at the SEC Softball Tournament. Last season made it to the championship game, which was rained out. So they were co-champs with Oklahoma, and they've got a couple of former Oklahoma State Cowgirls on the roster. Talon Edwards and Michaela Work, two big-time transfers, have combined to drive in 100 runs for Tricia Ford's Aggies this year. Same starting nine for Auburn and same starting pitcher. Ella Harrison with the first 4 innings yesterday and pitched well after a shaky first. She delivers a strike to the All-SEC senior Kennedy Powell.
Ella Harrison really made some adjustments early in the game in that first inning to work out of a jam that she got herself into with a couple of leadoff walks. So a bit of a slow start. Her first ever SEC tournament game, transferring over from Rutgers and just a sophomore. So still a young pitcher in the circle. In her first year in the SEC and getting her first taste of the SEC tournament, along with several other Auburn softball players. A lot of transfers coming in this program to make a difference.
Saw on the graphic, retired 11 of the final 14 batters yesterday. Before Charlie Butler went the final 3. Slapped into left by Powell. And there's Shaw for the first out.
And yesterday she had a few strikeouts against Missouri, and she has really good movement, especially with her drop ball. Her drop ball is the hardest pitch that she throws. She'll ramp it up to about 67, 68, and then she can go upstairs with her rise ball too. When she throws her rise ball, it's actually a little bit of an off-speed pitch, coming in at 61. Almost approaching 400 career strikeouts, though, in Ella Harrison's young career. It's all sophomores.
Talon Edwards gets her first taste of the SEC tournament. Had a terrific 3 years at Oklahoma State. Comes to Texas A&M this year, where she's played a very strong second base.
Ball.
And Edwards comes into the SEC tournament swinging a hot bat. 4 for 4 in her final home game Saturday. A 6-4 loss to Oklahoma. A career .313 hitter. 42 doubles, 17 homers. This lineup starts senior, senior, junior, senior before 5 consecutive sophomores. So a lot of experience at the top for Tricia Ford, a lot of youth at the bottom. Edwards and Work, players who've been to the World Series before with Oklahoma State. As Talon takes a high strike 2.
You can tell Harrison, along with Lessentine, everybody trying to figure out this strike zone early. Getting a little low rise ball there at 61, but not getting a drop ball early in the count that looked like a strike to me.
Down and in here. Edwards didn't hit it, so it's a drop third strike, and she gets to first. That was not a foul ball. That's a swing and a miss, but a ball that got away from Ratliff.
I thought I heard the tick of a foul ball, but I mean, that is awfully close if she did not make contact with it. I thought I heard it live, but Edwards able to get on base. Just a nasty drop ball throw into the back foot. That is a great pitch for Harrison. Not scared to go inside to lefties like with that pitch.
So a strikeout and a pass ball, and A&M gets an unusual first base runner. 18th pass ball of the year against Ratliff, who had a pass ball in the first inning yesterday, 2. Here's Maya Perez.
Ball top.
He's already in a 2-0 count.
And check out the shift that they have here on Maya Perez, where the left side of the infield is playing. That's Hastings playing basically behind Harrison. So you have 3 defenders up the middle of the field. You have Womack in center field, Hastings playing a literal second base or just beyond, and then Harrison, of course, delivering the pitch for a shift on Maya Perez.
Turns out it doesn't matter where they were playing. It's a 4-pitch walk, and Maya Perez continues to be the only Division I player to reach base every game this year.
You get a couple of free passes like this after Auburn scored in that first inning with a solo home run. You have to find a way to capitalize on a moment with multiple runners on. This is why Michaela Wark is hitting behind Maya Perez for moments like this.
It's an off-speed strike to start her. Wark has driven in 65 runs this year, the 4th most in the SEC. At the back of the box, this powerful right-hander takes strike 2. Change of speeds from Harrison to jump fully into the driver's seat. 19 home runs for Michaela Wark. Coming over from Oklahoma State. She wakes back and lines this pitch to right field to score Edwards. And Perez will stop at third on a Wark double. The Aggies' RBI leader has number 66. And almost unbelievably, a player with 19 home runs just hit her first double of the year.
On a changeup with 2 strikes, and believe it or not, with 2 strikes and a not full count, Michaela Wark is only hitting 167. She's much better early in the count in the first or second pitch, so kind of hitting against what she's done all year, especially being able to make an adjustment on that changeup. They gave her a changeup early in the count. She took it, went to a drop ball, and then drove to right field a changeup with 2 strikes.
I mean, that's the kind of statistic that makes you do a double take. 45 hits, 19 homers, 26 singles, no doubles. Until now. Auburn brings in the infield for KK Dement, and she falls behind 0-2 as well.
And that's the type of swing, Kevin, that you need from Michaela Wark in the postseason. You needed it in SEC play when so many teams are going to inevitably pitch around Maya Perez. You have to have Michaela Wark come up and make them pay.
Swing and a miss by Dement.
Actually happened in the Oklahoma series as well. They pitched around Maya Perez to get to Michaela Wark, and she cleared the bases. That was a big moment for her that likely gave her confidence to come into this game as Harrison backs it up with a rise ball strikeout to KK Dement on 3 pitches. Just went right at her with 2 runners in scoring position.
First pitch swinging, Ariel Kowalewski with a drive to right field. That gets to the wall. Kowalewski will slide into second. A 2-run double, and Texas A&M answers Auburn's first inning run with 3 of their own.
I think we're having a little bit of everything in this inning. 2 strike hitting, first pitch hitting. Look at Ariel Kowalewski just turn on this drop ball. That's the same pitch that they tried to throw to Talon Edwards. So I guarantee Ariel Kowalewski watched how they pitched Talon Edwards and went up looking for that drop ball, barrels it up to the right side to give A&M the lead.
Kowalewski with her 16th double of the year. She leads the team. So Perez, who walked, and Wark, who had her first double of the year, both score. That strikeout pass ball really looms large now.
Ball's down.
1-1 to Kelsey Mathis. And because of the pass ball, all of these runs will be unearned. Charge to Ella Harrison, who gave up 2 runs in the first inning yesterday, none the rest of the game. Mathis out in front of strike 2.
Think about all the homework that these hitters have already done in this game, with Womack turning on that inside pitch, getting her barreled to that pitch, and understanding that A&M was probably going to work them hard inside with the success that they had the curveball, or with the curveball in yesterday's game. And then the homework that Kowalewski did, watching how Talon Edwards got pitched, going down to get that drop ball. The swing by Wark with 2 strikes.
Ball down.
Some good at-bats already early in this game.
I know they had not faced Auburn in the regular season. Certainly got a good look at Ella Harrison's 4 innings yesterday, starting on back-to-back days. 2-2 for Mathis. That ball's hit high and deep to left field, down the line, and grabbed in fair territory by Shaw. Bookend flyouts to left, but some big hits for Texas A&M. A couple of doubles. Wark brought in 1, Kowalewski 2. And a great answer back to start A&M's run at the SEC tournament.
Welcome back to Lexington, where Texas A&M has just taken a 3-1 lead over this Auburn team. I want to tell you a story. Back in 2004, the Boston Red Sox were down 3-0 in the World Series against the New York Yankees, and then they launched one of the greatest comebacks in sports history. Netflix made a documentary about that comeback, and Auburn head coach Kate Malveaux told me this morning that Chris Malveaux showed clips of that documentary to the team yesterday. Well, what happened for an Auburn team that won 4 games in conference play? They started their postseason with a come-from-behind win over a higher-seeded Missouri Tiger team. The mantra for this Auburn group, count us out and see what happens. And Kate said it started in the 5th inning of yesterday's game. We need it to continue into today.
Well, their backs are against the wall already early, Alyssa, but we'll see if they can continue to find that motivation, find that fight. They were down 2 runs after an inning yesterday and rallied to win. And it's certainly a very talented Auburn team. Very young team that had to face this gauntlet of the SEC. Manaea Womack, the junior, takes a strike here. I mean, you look at just the talent level on this team, Amanda. It's not the talent level of a team that would go 4-20, but there's so little margin for error in this league. You can see how a young team hits a couple of skids and falls behind that far. However, new season, and it feels like they're embracing this fresh start here at the SEC tournament.
Right when they need to. Just momentum is such a big thing in our game. Within a game, within an inning, within a tournament, you can catch fire and win some games quickly and build that belief and confidence that you can beat anybody. And that, you know, the SEC experience, that was a concern for Chris and Kate Malveaux coming into the season, was that they just don't have that everyday starter SEC experience. However, they said every single one of these players was just a competitor and they want to win. They play with a little bit of that chip on their shoulder.
Womack fouls away Sydney Lessentine's 2-2. Auburn returned only 8 players this year, and you can see there they lost 8 primary starters from a season ago. You look at their starting lineup. Shaw transfer from Florida. Hastings in from Lipscomb. Walker barely played at LSU. Womack transfer from Ole Miss. She's got some serious power, though, and delivers that one right off her face. Some mighty heft from the Tigers early as Manaea Womack smacks her team-leading 14th home run. Second long ball of the game, and Auburn shows some fight again.
Another good at bat in this game. Womack got down to a 1-2 count, a pitcher's count. Lessentine goes up with the rise ball, but that is just right down the heart of the plate and into the swing path of Womack. She just barrels it up. You said it, it hits her face on the scoreboard. 2 solo home runs in this game for Auburn already.
242 feet, nearly
Ball's down.
79 miles per hour off the bat of Manaea Womack, who had 2 homers in the regular season finale against LSU, her first career 2-homer game, and now has 3 in her last 7 at-bats. That's now 4 straight innings where Auburn has hit a home run, dating back to the 6th yesterday. Destiny Rodriguez in the air to right field. That's some foul ground for Frankie Brajol.
I was just about to go look up if they had hit a home run in each of the last 4 innings and just triple check, but there is the home run ball. I wonder if it's going to be delivered to her.
I don't know, we have all these
starting to think?
amazing technological features, ump cam, drone cam. Now we have home run ball cam, apparently.
So at Little League World Series, when we're in Greenville, North Carolina, they deliver the ball to the parent. Or no, also at the Women's College World Series, of course, they deliver the ball to the parents. But it's just such a special moment. That home run is just always something that is so cool about our game, and just watching somebody run around the bases and the parents getting involved. I love it. Roebuck's home run yesterday was a big one because the game was tied, and Missouri had made a couple of defensive errors, and Roebuck came up first strike that she saw in that at bat. Got all of it, gave Auburn the lead. It's a freshman. She's had some big home runs in her freshman season, even at Love's Field against Oklahoma. Had some big swings there in Norman.
And we heard Haven talk about the home run with Alyssa after the game. Said that Ava Ratliff, who's her roommate, the on-deck hitter, gave her a little confidence boost beforehand. Was on deck. She pulled Haven aside and said, don't make the situation bigger than it needed to be. Take a breath. You can do this. Believe in yourself and just go out and do it. Wise words they turned out to be. As that proved to be the game-winning home run off of Missouri's freshman Abby Carr, a very good pitcher.
She looks pretty relaxed in the box right now, smiling at her teammates. And you mentioned Ava Ratliff. She's on deck. It's her roommate.
Ball's down.
And a 4-pitch walk for Roebuck. So a home run, a foul out, and now a walk here in the Auburn second. And we just saw Trisha Ford come to the circle, and now the catcher, Ariel Kowalewski, will come out quickly to the circle. Give a quick little pep talk to Sid Lessentine. The other Sydney Peters, throwing some pitches for Texas A&M.
Auburn just has so much to play for. I mean, I really think that that matters in a game like this. We saw that just kind of tough game back and forth between Missouri and Auburn yesterday, both playing for their seasons. And when you play a team like that, you feel that edge. I mean, everybody in that Auburn dugout knows it is win or go home for our season. So for A&M, they're in a good spot. They're going to make the NCAA tournament, likely grab a top 16 seed. But for Auburn, when you're facing a team that is playing for their season, they're going to show you some fight.
Strike 2 for Ava Ratliff. Obviously, A&M is playing this week to try to win today and win an SEC title. That's a motivating factor. They look pretty locked into something in the back half of the top 16 seeds.
Ball's down.
They're not going to fall out of the top 16 this week. That would be a huge shock. It would be very surprising as well if they jumped into the top 8. Maybe they would have to run the table here to get that and be a regional host. But Auburn needs these 2 wins just to get into the tournament. Ratliff fights one off, just foul.
Well, and I think if you're A&M, you're just playing to get some wins and feel better about how you're playing going into the NCAA tournament. They had a tough series against South Carolina on the road. Low-scoring games. Their offense didn't show up. South Carolina was also playing to keep that 500 record, and And so they faced some teams that are playing for something. Last weekend, they faced OU, who obviously was playing for an SEC regular season championship. And now you face a team trying to get into the NCAA tournament. So they're facing some opponents that are giving them their absolute best shots, actually playing for something bigger than just, you know, just winning an everyday game.
Trisha Ford looking on. Fourth-year Texas A&M coach. As Ratliff is finally done for. Fouled away a couple of two-strike pitches, but Lesentine gets her on her second strikeout.
Lesentine's able to get on top of this pitch. A changeup that moves low and away from Ratliff. Good location, gets the chase for the second strikeout of the game for Sid.
Here's the freshman Daigle Wilson now.
Ball's down.
Wilson out of Orange Beach in Alabama. Trying to snap out of a 2 for 27 stretch back to April 6th. Was 0 for 2 yesterday.
Ball's out.
There are just so many young players in this Auburn lineup. Senior transfers in Walker and Rodriguez. A couple of juniors, but 2 sophomores, 3 freshmen, a sophomore starting pitcher. A low strike call there. It's 2-1.
Experience in the SEC really does matter. I mean, it's difficult to play a full SEC season for the first time with so many faces who are doing it.
It's a line drive to right by Wilson for a base hit. Just her 13th of the year in 65 at-bats.
Go out and get this pitch. Change up, she just sticks with it on the outside corner. That pitch is a little bit up, it just doesn't move down, and she's just able to keep her weight back and drive it to the opposite field. Good piece of hitting by the freshman to turn over the order.
Give Kylie Shaw, Auburn's leader in on-base percentage, a chance here. Shaw goes after the first pitch, floats it into right field, and it gets over the head of Rajal. That'll bring in 1. Here's Wilson trying to make it 2. No throw to the plate, and Shaw's got her second straight day with a triple. A 3-run first for Texas A&M, a 3-run answer back for Auburn.
Sits back on another changeup. Look at Shaw just handle it well. A changeup that just stays up. She's not fooling them at times with this changeup, the one that stays up in the zone. Shaw connects with it. The Wilson single looked like it was an off-speed pitch as well, and multiple extra base hits in this inning for Auburn, where they were able to retake the lead.
Kylie Shaw had 1 triple in the regular season. She's tripled in both games here at this SEC tournament, and Trisha Ford will make a second inning pitching change. The 2-out hit by the freshman Daigle Wilson sets up the triple from Shaw. Auburn with an early lead again. The home of the Women's College World Series once again. We'll have every game for you beginning May 28th on ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC from Oklahoma City. There will be a whole bunch of teams in all likelihood that you'll see this week in Lexington to make it to Oklahoma City. The SEC with 10 of the top 20 teams in the RPI. And the Auburn Tigers need to win 2 more games to be NCAA tournament eligible. Have the lead as Texas A&M turns to its co-ace, Sydney Peters. Sydney Lessentine only gets 5 outs, allows 4 runs at least. And the junior from Santa Fe, Peters, takes over in the circle. Alyssa Hastings, number 2 hitter,
Ball's out.
takes ball 1.
Auburn has just looked so ready for the mistakes that A&M has given them in this game. They've just looking to hit since that 6th inning against Missouri. This team is just passing the bat so well and connecting with pitches, capitalizing on mistakes.
Ball, it's inside.
Some close pitches have gone the hitter's way early, too. Megan Rabin, the plate umpire, has certainly had a hitter-friendly strike zone early.
We had some really good zones in yesterday's game, especially in that late game. The game was moving along. I'm okay with a slightly bigger strike zone. I know that there's no like asterisks in the rule book for that or anything. Like the strike zone is what it is, but we have to be able to expand the zone just a little bit, or at least call the pitches that are supposed to be strikes. There have been several in this game, and look at the score already in the 2nd inning and how long this game is going to be because you have a tighter strike zone. This is just how it works.
Have you noticed a difference in the country this year in the strike zones and maybe correlating to the rise of offense?
I personally don't think it's just been this year. I think that this has been a thing for several years. And I think it has made the strike zone feel even smaller this year because the offense has been so good. So I think that this has been a conversation for the past, 3 or 4 years that we've been having.
Historic offensive year in college this season. 3-2 to Hastings. Drilled up the middle for a base hit. A rock-solid swing from Alyssa Hastings. Auburn puts 4 on the board in the 2nd and now leads it 5-3.
Auburn is just feeling it. Continuing to get good pitches to hit because of the smaller zone. And actually, that one was more on a corner, but look at Hastings just go out and get her barrel to that low rise ball outside. Right back up the middle over Peters' head.
A junior transfer from Huntsville, Alabama, who had a 7 RBI game a couple of weeks ago against Ole Miss, has her first of this SEC tournament. Now Walker, who homered in the 1st. There's a strike, 1-1. Auburn has sent 8 to the plate here in the 2nd inning after Texas A&M sent 7 up and scored 3 in the 1st. Fouled away by Walker and stays in the field of play for Powell. Another answer back from the Auburn Tigers. Backs against the wall for a couple of days here in Lexington. Big hits from the bottom, top, and middle of the order. They've reclaimed the lead. Welcome back to the 2026 SEC Softball Tournament on the SEC Network, presented by T-Mobile. Quadruple header day here in Lexington. The next game, Arkansas, #1 in the country in RPI, and yet only the 7 seed here in this loaded league against Mississippi State. Tennessee, Ole Miss. Maybe we see Carlin Pickens. We'll see how the Volunteers choose to pitch. #1 overall pick in the AUSL draft or not today. And LSU, Georgia. Paisley Allen with a foul pop-up. Grabbed by the shortstop, Hastings. Still to come tomorrow. The top 4 seeds, including the #1 Oklahoma Sooners, who've won 4 of the last 5 national titles, and the 4th-seeded Texas Longhorns, who won the last one. And some folks out on the berm today. Nice crowd on the berm. Berm which was renovated the last couple of years here at John Kropp Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky. This will be the last on-campus SEC tournament, at least for the foreseeable future, as it'll head to the Huntsville, Alabama area, home of the AA Rocket City Trash Pandas for the next 4 years. The strikes here, Ella Harrison to Frankie Vrajel. And you worry about tournaments sometimes when the home team gets knocked out, but pretty good crowd here for the 11 a.m. game, day 2 of the tournament.
The sun's coming out a little bit. We thought it was going to be gray all day, but I'm really loving the blue skies that I'm seeing right now. Warming things up.
The vibes are high despite some long sleeves and blankets. Vrajel gets a piece of a 1-2.
We had good crowds last year at the SEC tournament in Athens too. They put on a great SEC tournament. Kentucky is being a great host here as well. Their fans showing up with their softball hats. Kevin had one of those at dinner last night at the steakhouse.
2 of them actually. I had changed midway through. Too much tartar sauce on the first one.
Ball.
2 for Vrajel, the #9 hitter for Texas A&M. Some OU fans getting some early scouting in.
They're very bundled up. That is how cold it is. In the 40s when we woke up this morning.
.328 for the A&M sophomore Vrajel, down in the 9th spot. Started 51 of Texas A&M's 53 games this year. Again, 5 straight sophomores, 5 through 9 for Trisha Ford. And Vrajel slaps the ball down to third, where Haven Roebuck throws her out.
She's followed up with another slapper in Kennedy Powell, who has just had a great year, her senior year as leadoff hitter for A&M. And had a chance to talk to Kennedy earlier this year about learning to slap, and she was actually self-taught. She's never had a slapping coach. What she would do is watch other people slap and then watch video of herself and try to make tweaks and compare. She really looked up to Florida's Kelsey Stewart growing up and kind of modeled her game after Kelsey Stewart, which you hear that from a lot of slappers. Kelsey Stewart, a lot of young girls looked up to Kelsey Stewart when she was at Florida and beyond.
Ball's out.
Well, she had a special swing Saturday. She did not slap. She had a 2-run home run, and Trisha Ford said, you have these dorky mom moments where you think, oh, she'll never forget this. And she said that swing is going to be one of those for KP, playing her final home weekend. This ball with some half-driven to center by Powell. That will get to the wall. But she is certainly more than just a slapper. Came very close to yet another home run. She'll settle for a 2-out double.
Kennedy Powell, in early counts within the first 3 pitches, she hits almost 600 when she swings early in the count and connects. So this is not her swinging away, which she has done more of this year in her senior year. Worked on it in the fall. This is more of a power slap where she just powers it past Womack to get herself on second and scoring position for the middle of the order coming up for A&M. Need to answer back.
Nine doubles, 36 hits in SEC play. Those both led the league, and those were both Texas A&M records within SEC play. So appropriately enough, for first hit of the tournament is a double, and it brings up Talon Edwards. It takes ball one.
You could tell that Kennedy wanted to level up her game in every single area. As a leadoff hitter, getting on base, as a third baseman, just being able to make different plays and step up for her team.
And the Dirt Pal gets a big lead, and we'll go back to second. Terrific base runner, 2. Had a streak of 42 consecutive steals over 2 years snapped this March.
By Reese Atwood in that Texas series. He's her former travel ball teammate. They played on the same travel ball team, the Hot Shots.
I don't know if there's a sport that's quite as small a world as softball. Three and 2, a low strike from Harrison to Edwards.
Harrison's doing a great job against Talon Edwards, being able to locate pitches. She's continuing to work from ahead against her. Pitch with 2 strikes.
Edwards did strike out in the first inning, reaching a pass ball, and pops up a 3-2 here. Out into shallow right center. Womack makes the catch, and Harrison has a shutdown second. Through 2 in Lexington. Auburn leads by 2. And now a fly ball drilled to left by Roebuck. At the wall, gone! Haven Roebuck with her 8th and by far most spectacular home run of her freshman year. That was the swing that propelled Auburn into the lead in the 6th inning yesterday. They did nothing for 5 innings against Missouri, and they've done everything the 4 innings since. They have homered in 4 consecutive innings from the 6th inning on yesterday. They lead Texas A&M 5-3 through 2.
Ball's out.
And lest we forget that the Auburn Tigers, they're the 14th seed here, they're 4-20 in the SEC, we know all that. They are just 4 days removed, Amanda, from losing a game 25-0 to LSU.
It's a big-time fight. I mean, we knew that this Auburn team could swing it. We saw it in February. You had the numbers of how they came out of the gate and were just a collectively strong offense, scoring a lot of runs. And then, unfortunately, in SEC play, that started to trail off. They struggled a bit, just tough schedule. Young players with inexperience who are losing games in a way that they've never lost games before. But the postseason is kind of like hitting the reset button. It kind of feels like a new season within the season.
Natalie Adams, the cleanup hitter, batting against Sydney Peters. Adams with a pop-up out of play.
They made an adjustment in between innings with Riker Chasen now coaching third. He's their pitching coach and a pitch picker specialist over there. So probably over there trying to look at Sydney Peters. Look, he's not taking his eyes off of her, trying to find something that she's doing to relay to the hitter.
What are the hallmarks of a great pitch picker?
So I was never really one. I feel like maybe I just look at the macro picture instead of the micro picture as much, but he's looking for something that she does in her glove, her grip, the way that she holds the ball inside of her glove, maybe the way that her arm on her changeup, I'm just making this up, this is not true, but her arm maybe is a little bent inside of her glove, her right arm on her changeup, and it's straight on her rise ball. Just anything that she gives away that he can relay to the, or he can pick up on and relay to the hitter. There's so many different tells, and there are some good pitch pickers in our game.
This is the first time he's turned his head in about 4 minutes. 8 pitch coming to Adams here. 3-2 leading off the third. A little ground ball flatly over. It's Powell cutting off the shortstop Dement, making the play. So an 8-pitch battle won by Peters and Powell.
Could even be just the time after she gets her grip that maybe she takes a little bit longer on, again, making this up, maybe she takes her a little bit longer on her changeup to get her grip a half second longer or a second longer. He notices that. I mean, so many different things can go into it.
Ball inside.
And you have some teams that tell you they have players that are great at it, people that can see things from the dugout too, depending on if you're third base dugout, first base dugout, all the little intricacies that go into the game within the game. Is it easier to pick up on something this late in a year when you have 50 games worth of tape on a certain team, maybe 20, 30 games worth of tape on a pitcher?
Yes, absolutely. Usually the coaches will even know going into the series or into the game about some certain tells that they've seen on film. So not only, you know, do they have all the data on your spin rate, your speed, what you throw in certain counts, but then they're also able to pick up stuff about what you do differently, how you look differently on certain pitches to try to get that offensive edge.
Peters to Womack, out of play 2-2. Did you ever accidentally tip when you were pitching?
I think I did with my changeup, and I did not keep my grip in my glove. I brought it out of my glove, but the way that you can help that is by having multiple pitches with the same grip, to where maybe one's fast and one's hard with that same grip, where you can't sit on a certain speed.
A high pop-up by Womack. That will stay in play. Powell crashes down from third, and Peters, under the watchful eye of Riker Chasen, has retired before the 5 hitters in order.
But I think that's such a big difference in our game, is hitters going up and knowing or having a very good idea of what pitchers like to throw in certain counts. So you just don't go in knowing, all right, Sydney Peters, her best pitch is her rise ball and her changeup. I'm going to look for either one of those two pitches. You go up in a certain count and look for a specific side of the plate or pitch
Ball.
and have a really good idea, because of all the data that we have in our game of what you're likely to see as a right-handed hitter in this certain situation.
Let's see if Destiny Rodriguez is looking somewhere on 1-0.
Ball's out.
2-0. Senior transfer from Tennessee. Slugging percentage gone up about 90 points this year from her first 3 seasons. 154th game, 133rd start of her career, all in the SEC. And a couple of tight pitches near the outside have gone Rodriguez's way. Ariel Kowalewski out to the circle on a 3-0 count.
And this is something that Ariel Kowalewski has done a really good job of this year, is taking charge back behind the plate. She didn't start the year as everyday catcher for A&M, but she started out in right field, and Trisha Ford ended up putting her there early in the season.
Well, Trisha Ford talked about how AK, as they call Ariel Kowalewski, is so important because she's so calming and she gives great information. She said the days of catchers giving pitchers great information are starting to wane. She's got a little bit of old school in her, and she will coach these ladies up.
Player who was not their starting catcher at the beginning of the year has moved back there. And she has to catch ball 4 here. Rodriguez is on with a 2-out walk. Started the first 19 games in right field, Kowalewski, and it was a pretty easy conversation. Trisha Ford, what do you think about going behind the plate? Kowalewski, okay.
And she had not caught even at practice really before that game. But what it did is it made A&M stronger back behind the plate, and it made them stronger in the outfield as well, because then Kelsey Mathis started to become the everyday center fielder. Frankie Vrajel, who started in center field, moved over to right where she played last year. And Kowalewski stronger back behind the plate to manage this pitching staff, so the outfield defense got better too.
Roebuck drills it to left field. Another deep drive. Another home run. They can't stop hitting homers. Haven Roebuck's second home run of the SEC tournament. Auburn has gone deep in 5 consecutive innings.
So many 2-out RBIs too for Auburn in this game. They keep stepping up. Gets jammed a little bit, Roebuck does, but she's able to get to that pitch and send it out of here. Really didn't even get all of it. It was, is it gonna hit the fence? Is it gonna sneak out of here? And it absolutely did. 6 RBIs for Auburn with 2 outs in this game.
I guess we all need an Ava Ratliff pep talk in our lives, because after she talked to Haven Roebuck before yesterday's at-bat, home run, 4-pitch walk, home run, 7-3 Auburn. Now 6 unanswered runs for the Tigers. And Roebuck, 2 home runs in the SEC tournament after coming in here with a 25-game homerless streak. A lot of pitches in the inning by Sydney Peters. Adams saw 8 and grounded out. Womack saw 5 and fouled out. Rodriguez walked, and then Roebuck with a quick strike.
You know, and it's just interesting because yesterday Missouri gave them curveballs, so they were able to capitalize on those curveballs and square them up to send them out. And today A&M is pitching them a little bit more in, and they're getting their barrels to these inside pitches to the righties.
Ball.
Take by Ratliff. The count runs full. Auburn had only 3 batters in SEC play hit better than 190. Now this is just a staggering stretch. They had all these home runs early in the season, and the bats went ice cold. Auburn hit the 2nd fewest home runs in league play in the SEC this year. And they have homered in 5 straight innings here at the tournament. Ratliff, a little floater. That will find some green grass in left center. Ava Ratliff's got her first hit of the tournament. Three straight 2-out base runners for Auburn, which leads at 7-3 here in the 3rd. The dugout's going crazy for Ratliff. And now every Auburn starter, except for the cleanup hitter Adams, has reached base. Daigle Wilson had a base hit. 2 swings and misses. Strike 1 from Peters.
Well, it's no surprise, too, with Chris Malvo being such a great hitting coach, as one of the co-head coaches for this Auburn team. He has gone to different stops within the SEC and had a ton of offensive success at each of them.
Dead ball, right here.
8 batters, 4 runs in the second, 6 batters to the plate, 2 runs across here in the third for Chris Malveau's Tigers. And a lot of good takes. Good swings and good takes. Chris Malveau talked about wanting his team's swing decisions to be better, what we're swinging at, how we attempt, need a little more continuity and steadiness. There's a tough swing by Wilson, goes after one in the dirt, but more damage done by Auburn. Haven Roebuck, the freshman, having a breakout week here in Kentucky.
And Auburn must be having so much fun swinging the bat in that dugout at this SEC tournament. Roebuck with 2 home runs in her first SEC tournament.
Home runs for Auburn in each of the 3 innings. Tigers are really swinging the bats well, leading 7-3 over Texas A&M. Big hitters coming up for the Aggies here in the third, including Maya Perez. Remember this, 2 years ago, Game 2 Super Regional against Texas off of Estelle Check. That was a pinch-hit home run by Perez. It was the first extra base hit of her career. Sent Game 2 of that Super Regionals into extras. To this day, and we were there, it's one of the most memorable softball swings we can remember. That's the hitter Maya Perez could be, and it's the hitter she has become in the 2 years since. Felt like that one swing, and Tricia Ford said she could see Maya was really close at practice heading into that. She was telling her, just be Maya Perez. That swing kind of propelled her, Amanda, into another stratosphere of power and patience.
And Coach Ford said Maya Perez has been this type of hitter since she was 12 years old. I mean, this is who Maya Perez is. She is not surprised at all with the success that Maya Perez has had her sophomore and her junior seasons. That was a tough A&M lineup to break into her freshman year as well. A lot of power hitters, a lot of experience in that lineup, and she had that shot in the Super Regional in that pinch hit opportunity, and it was a moment for sure.
If we did this game for another 40 years, that'd probably still be the best Super Regional we've ever seen. Texas A&M. Our A&M was a 16 seed, went into Austin, won Game 1, nearly had him in that extra inning thriller Game 2. Texas won a close Game 3, and for A&M, it's been 2 years of heartbreak now. They have the lead in the Super Regionals. They can't get it done in Austin in that epic. Last year, the #1 overall seed. They lose in regionals to unseeded Liberty. So there's a lot to play for the A&M players who've been here for 3 years now. First pitch swinging for Michaela Wark after a 4-pitch walk, and she flies out to right. So Ella Harrison walks Perez for a second time and then gets Wark for the first out. KK Dement struck out on a rise ball her first time. She's aggressive as well.
And A&M's, a lot of their outs are coming either a strikeout or a ball in the air, making it easy for Auburn's defense to just get underneath one. And it's not nearly as windy today as what we saw yesterday with that cold front blowing in. So the easy outs, some of these are just missing, just getting under, but for some towering fly balls.
Elevated that changeup, and Dement takes it for strike 2. Ella Harrison gave up 2 in the first yesterday. And pitched 3 scoreless innings after that to keep Auburn in the game. Gives up 3 in the first today, all unearned because of a strikeout passed ball. A scoreless second and out in the third. Difference today, she's pitching from ahead. Her offense didn't give her any run support. They scored the runs when she was out of the game in the 6th and 7th. That's a little bouncing ball foul. And we'll do it again on 1 and 2.
Always interesting when you look into the bullpen and you see the pitcher who's currently pitching for a team in the bullpen while the team is hitting. So Sydney Peters, despite that long inning in the second, and the A&M bullpen trying to work out a few things. Gianna Mancha, who helps with the pitchers alongside Trisha Ford, who is also the pitching coach. So they're talking about some things, some words of advice, working on something mechanical possibly.
Right up against the dugout. Roebuck reels in the foul fly from Dement. Two out after the leadoff walk.
Now batting the catcher, number 47, Ariel Kowalski.
Ariel Kowalski doubled in 2 in the first. Right down the heart for strike 1.
Harrison just continuing to throw 3 different speeds, and it's throwing off the timing of A&M. She has really good spin, movement. Riker Chasen and the Auburn coaching staff were really high on Harrison coming into their program with her stuff.
Ball.
It's good movement. She had it last year when she was at Rutgers as well. There was a lot of ground balls, so it's interesting to see all these fly balls that are coming off the bat of A&M because her ground ball rate is at about 60–70%.
Spin on that one up and into Kowalski. 1 and 2. Chris Malveaux told us she's got a gift being able to manipulate the ball and make it do a lot of things up and down. Sometimes command can be an issue, but the only walks today were of Perez, which felt about as intentional as an unintentional walk gets. And after the walk of Perez, 1, 2, 3 against A&M's 4, 5, 6.
Welcome back to the 2026 SEC Softball Tournament on the SEC Network, presented by T-Mobile. Here with Auburn head coach Kate Malveaux. Coach, take us inside what your dugout's been like today. You said it turned up in the 5th inning yesterday. How's it been so far?
And they're playing light and free, which is really awesome when they go and they do that. They also had a really great conversation at the game about what they were going to go do. They're sticking to their plans offensively, and that's ultimately what pays off. When you know that you put the prep in and you can go do it, and then you go cash in. They're doing it.
What are y'all feeding Haven Roebuck in this postseason right now?
She just has to remember who she is, and it is, and that's exactly it, and she's finding that again. But also feeling that success breeds success, right? And just remembering the process of it, she's in a really cool headspace. So we ain't feeding her anything, but her teammates are feeding her a lot of positivity, a lot of love, and when you get that, that's a really good place to be.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks so much, War Eagle.
Kate Malveaux delivering some positivity and love. Her team has homered in 5 consecutive innings. Let's look at today's extra effort, brought to you by Regions Bank.
3 home runs in this game, all toward the pull side. Walker got things started back in the 1st inning with a solo home run, and then Womack did the same thing to lead off the 2nd, and then Roebuck with a runner on after a walk. Auburn with a lot of pull side power. And some outside pitches pulling him over there, inside pitches in this game pulling him over there that way too.
An Auburn team that again was the 2nd worst home run hitting team in league play this year. 5 homers in 5 innings, and you talked about 2-out runs. 9 of the 13 RBIs with 2 outs in the last 2 games. This has to be doubly frustrating for these pitchers.
They're being really tough outs. They're having really good takes, having an understanding of what they're looking for, what a pitcher is going to throw to them with 2 strikes. You can just tell that they're locked in, and even to the point where last inning when Sydney Peters went out, she got a quick 2 outs to lead off the inning, and then Destiny Rodriguez drew, I think it was a 4-pitch walk, if not a 5-pitch walk. She threw 1 strike in there, and then Roebuck, boom, hit the home run after that walk. But that 2-out scoring is just devastating if you're the opponent, and it's invigorating if you're the offense that's hitting it.
Shaw with a strikeout, a 2-run triple. Slaps a ground ball to short, and DeBeth throws her out. Leadoff hitter retired, 3 out of 4 innings by Texas A&M pitching. Again, early in innings, maybe that much of trouble for the starter Sydney Lessentine and now Sydney Peters. Later in the innings, the big trouble. Lessentine went just an inning and 2/3. Got 5 outs, gave up 5 runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, struck out 2. Peters has relieved her. 50th pitch in relief. And a strike to Hastings, who has an RBI hit. Auburn, one of 13 teams to make 11 consecutive NCAA tournaments, has to win today and win tomorrow. That one stalled to right to Perez.
Hastings has just been so good in SEC play, and here at this tournament, right at Maya Perez, I mean, didn't even have to move, but she just smoked that ball, playing pepper with her. Hit that ball hard. Hastings has had great at-bats too.
So 2 outs. Auburn's streak of 5 straight innings with a home run in some peril. Walker extended it with a 2-out homer in the 1st. Auburn this season in SEC play hit just 179 with 2 outs. And today Auburn is hitting 667 with 2 outs, 6 out of 9, as Walker takes a big rip.
And this is a player, Michaela Walker, only had 75 at-bats in 3 years at LSU and transferred over to Auburn as a senior. Somebody that Chris Malveaux watched while she was in high school.
A drive to left field here. That's going to loop foul and be caught by Allen. So finally, A&M holds Auburn off the board. See if the Aggie Bats can get back in the game.
2026 SEC Softball Tournament on the SEC Network, presented by T-Mobile. Here with Texas A&M head coach Trisha Ford. Coach, just saw you talking to your team in the dugout. What did you say to them?
We're not playing our game in all aspects, and it's time for us to, get things going, have better at-bats, and pitch better. I mean, we haven't executed anything.
Who are you looking to lead that charge for your team right now?
Anybody. I think, it starts, with these at-bats, but we're chasing pitches. We're not executing out on the mound, so somebody's got to figure this out and get going.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Thank you, Alyssa. Here was Trisha Ford just a few moments ago before she talked with Alyssa. You can see her right in the middle of the dugout there. Lining the team up, very animated. Not performing well, she said, in any aspect.
You don't see her do that a lot either. Watch a lot of A&M's games, and you don't see her pull them together like that unless it's absolutely needed.
And I caught the tail end of what she said, guys. We will go home. So really firing up her team and reminding them what's at stake here.
She was hoping, Alyssa, that they would get some motivation from last weekend too. The tough series against Oklahoma. Lost 2 of 3. She said, I think this can be good for us because last year we didn't really have a moment like that before regionals. And then when we lost to Liberty, we didn't have anything to draw on. So she was hoping this experience, playing in hard-fought games, losing tough games at home, would give them that kind of bitter taste she wanted them to have before it meant the end of their season. But she knows her team's looking at the end of its SEC tournament run very quickly if they don't get their act together in the final 4 innings. 3-0 for Kelsey Mathis here. Leading off the 4th, Mathis, the number 7 hitter, takes a strike from Ella Harrison.
When we talked about that tough end of the season for A&M, they lost the series at South Carolina and then hosted OU and lost that series, but that should leave a little bitter taste in your mouth, those losses that start to pile up toward the end of the season to play well in a tournament like this, to feel your best about yourself going into the NCAA tournament. Did not swing the bat well at South Carolina. South Carolina pitched them extremely tough in Columbia, and then of course you're having to face Oklahoma, SEC champs, last weekend.
Mathis swings and misses. Harrison fights her way back from 3-0 and gets a hard drop working for her 3rd strikeout.
It's a great comeback from Ella Harrison to just claw back into this at bat, getting her with the drop ball. Did not look like she saw that well out of the hand at all, but that tumble down drop ball out of the hand of Harrison can be tough.
Ball.
Off-speed start to Paisley Allen. It's ball 1. Ella Harrison in the SEC tournament this year. This is the story. Bad starts. 5 runs in the first inning in 2 games. No runs in the final 3 innings yesterday. Nothing in the 2 1/3 she's thrown after that first inning today. Have her adjustments today been similar to you, to the adjustments she made in game yesterday?
I think the A&M has helped her out a little bit more than what Missouri did earlier in the game when they were facing her. Trisha Ford talking about having better at bats, swinging at better pitches. A&M just doesn't quite look on time, and Ella Harrison is making it tough for them because she throws 3 different speeds. They're just not seeing the ball well out of her hand.
Ball.
Remember yesterday, Harrison went 4 innings, was pitching well, and then Auburn turned to Charlie Butler, who threw 3 1-hit, 1-walk innings out of the bullpen. So we'll see how the Malveaux want to play this once Ella Harrison gets through the order twice. She's got the 8-hitter for a 2nd time here.
Ball down.
And a little bit low. Good take by Allen to run it full. They do have a couple of pitchers up in the bullpen, including on the left side, a reliever from yesterday, Charlie Butler.
She looked really good yesterday in relief.
Maybe the same formula. Another strikeout for Harrison here. So A&M looks a little more deflated after that Trisha Ford talked. Back-to-back Ks for Harrison.
An identical pitch that Kelsey Mathis struck out on. Drop ball inside, getting this righty-on-righty matchup, and it just kind of moves in a little bit as well to these hitters, but getting on top of that drop ball, able to throw it through the zone.
Frankie Vrajel out of the 9th spot lifts a fly ball to right center, and Walker makes the catch as Womack goes tumbling behind her. Womack and Walker avoid the collision and end to 1, 2, 3, 4.
This communication almost happened, but Michaela Walker able to come away with the all-important out. That was close.
Been a War Eagle kind of morning. Home runs for Auburn in the first 3 innings. The SEC Tournament trophy to be handed out on Saturday. The Tigers are trying to make it to Thursday. 14th seeded Auburn leading 6th seeded Texas A&M 7-3. Kevin Brown and Amanda Scarborough here in the booth. Alyssa Lang downstairs on our wonderful SEC Tournament crew. It's a quadruple header day here on the SEC Network. Our second game about 35 minutes after the conclusion of game 1 will feature 7th-seeded Arkansas and 10th-seeded Mississippi State after Bulldogs won on a walk-off yesterday. The next 2 games will be Tennessee versus Ole Miss, the 5 and the 13, and the 8-9 game LSU Georgia. Top 4 seeds waiting tomorrow. Winner of this game gets Florida tomorrow morning, 11 Eastern, 10 Central. Alabama, Texas, and Oklahoma will all begin their SEC tournament journeys tomorrow as well. Annalie Adams in a 1-2 count here against Sydney Peters. 2 competitive games yesterday to start, and then a 2-0 win for Ole Miss last night. So 3 close games to start day 1. Amanda, you felt like this had the potential to be as good of an SEC tournament as we've ever had. So far, it's lived up to the billing. Adams smokes a fly ball to center field. Annalie Adams, another Auburn homer. The only Tiger in the starting lineup yet to reach base today reaches every base.
These swings are just on plane. They are ready. They are on time. Rise ball and a pitcher's count. Look at her go up and get that. That was about letters high. Boom. I mean, but Auburn, they're just seeing the ball like a beach ball right now. Chris Malvo loved it. Riker Chasen was pumped. Second solo home run. Excuse me, third solo home run in this game.
Trisha Ford went out the circle. Now she's chatting with her infield. They can't find the answer, and Auburn can't be stopped. Adams, a first-team All-SEC player a year ago, has seen her power numbers drop about 200 points this year, but finds the slug late. And the Auburn Tigers have their first 4-homer game since the end of February. Absolutely unfathomable stuff from Auburn's offense. A 4-20 team in the SEC this year. Not just beating, but bombarding the 6-seeded Texas A&M as the Aggies have gone to the bullpen for the second time today.
Scoring in every inning except for that 4th inning. And I mean, going back to their final innings against Missouri, this offense has just been unstoppable. So good with 2 outs, so good at just rebounding after getting down, 3 up, 3 down, but then a leadoff home run, it's just crushing if you're the opponent.
Whatever's going through Trisha Ford's head right now, it may not be suitable for television. She wore out her team at the middle 4th inning break. A&M goes down 1-2-3, 2 strikeouts, and then immediately Peters gives up a homer. Kate Munnerlyn, the 3rd A&M pitcher of the game. Lessentine gave up 5 from the start. Peters gives up 3 in 2 1/3, and now they'll hope Munnerlyn has the answers they've been looking for. A home run by Annalee Adams.
Ball,
A
foul.
couple of hits at the SEC tournament for her, the sophomore from Liberty, Indiana. The 4th Auburn home run today. What a show. Anaya Womack hit the 2nd of those 4 home runs. Her 14th of the year, leading the team.
Ball, stop.
I think it also really goes to show how well Sierra Harrison pitched yesterday to
Yes.
keep Auburn off balance. So a lot of credit to her. And we had some tough senior pitcher quality starts that just pitched so well that ended up losing and ending their careers on this field yesterday. Sarah Hendiges for Kentucky was the other one. Sierra Harrison had a great start, ended up losing.
Ball, too low.
4-pitch walk to start the outing for Munnerlyn. Third walk of the day for Auburn. Trisha Ford punching in another pitch call. Destiny Rodriguez has flied out and walked. Munnerlyn bends in a strike. The most runs for Texas A&M allowed in the SEC tournament since their first ever game at the SEC tournament.
Ball.
Remember, this tournament used to be a quick trip for A&M. They were only 1-8 before Trisha Ford took over. They lost their first 7 SEC tournament openers. This ball driven to right by Rodriguez. Hangs up there for Vrajel, 1 away. Under Trisha Ford, they made the semifinals back-to-back years. Last season, made it to the championship game, a game that never happened because of rain with Oklahoma. Their fortunes had turned around in the tournament the last 2 years. But Auburn has turned around this game with 7 consecutive runs after the first inning. Now here's Haven Roebuck. Might be the most dangerous hitter on the diamond today. Batting in the 7 spot for the 14 seed. Homer, walk, homer in her last 3 plate appearances.
Ball.
Every time she steps up to the plate early in the count, you have to be paying attention to Haven Roebuck right now. She's been so aggressive. Outside pitch that she got around in her first home run of the SEC tournament that drove an inside pitch as well. She is just seeing the ball so big here in Lexington.
And Kate Munnerlyn misses a little up for ball 3. Kate Munnerlyn is pitching Haven Roebuck like she's the most dangerous hitter at the SEC tournament. Lefty who's got a 7.47 ERA in her first 12 relief outings of the year. 4-pitch walk for Roebuck. 2 4-pitch walks and 3 batters for Munnerlyn.
Well, and remember, Chris Malvo is a graduate of Texas A&M. In fact, he was a softball manager under Joe Evans back in the late 90s, and that's really how he got started within the sport of softball. Became a manager. At first he was a fan, so him and a group of guys that were his friends at A&M started to first go to Aggie women's basketball games and be a group that cheered them on. I think they were called the Aggie Gents, and then they went across the street like, hey, let's kind of check out this softball thing. Started to cheer on the softball team, fell in love with it, and then became a softball manager on staff at Texas A&M. And now here he is, head coach of an SEC school. I mean, he had a few stops, you know, in between that softball manager at A&M and the head coach at Auburn here, but an Aggie through and through, and that's where he got his start.
In fact, Kate Malvo, who's his wife and co-head coach, Chris and Kate were dating, and he took Kate to see A&M play Duke in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta one year, and he proposed at the end of the game, was wearing an undershirt with the words, "Will you marry me?" And Kate said, "No, you have to say it." So here are these two, Kate and Chris Malvo. Kate, who was a terrific player in college. Chris, who was just a fan who worked his way into the sport, became a hitting guru. They have this wonderful moment at Texas A&M, and 13 years later, they're just bludgeoning Aggie pitching. As a ground out from Ratliff will move Womack and Roebuck up with now 2 outs. It's one of those crazy, only in your dreams kind of stories that this sport can provide. Assistants together and on staff together at Missouri and Tennessee. After Mickey Dean's retirement, they named the co-head coaches here at Auburn. Uncommon, but does happen here and there in the sport. Of course, they were at Tennessee, where for many years Karen and Ralph Weekly were co-head coaches. Just Karen Weekly after Ralph's retirement a few years ago. And with a win today, they'll have Auburn to 500. They'd have Auburn 1 win away from being NCAA tournament eligible. And they're going to choose this moment to pinch hit Kyla Stroud, who hit a 7th inning home run off the bench yesterday.
Another one of these home run moments for Auburn late in the game off of Abby Carr. Got a mistake and just unleashed on it. Part of that early home run momentum that they're continuing on in this game.
And right now, Stroud represents a potential 8-run lead. If she homered again, Auburn would be up 8 and would be in a position to run rule A&M with a scoreless 5th. It's her first home run since February 14th against the mighty Binghamton Bearcats. Purveyors of chicken speedies and much more in the America East. Strike to Stroud, it's 2-2. Munnerlyn has walked 2, retired 2 in relief. 2nd and 3rd, 2 down in the 5th. Way upstairs, it's 3-2 for Stroud.
It's a good job by Kowalewski to go up and get that rise ball that was a little bit wild there. The runner on third base, every run so critical right now. So going from her squat all the way up to full extension to grab it.
A 3-2 for the pinch hitter. Stroud swings and misses. Munderland strands 2 in scoring position. Auburn gets another 8 runs, 8 hits, and now 4 home runs.
The ball is just flying off their bats. Annalie Adams, even in a pitcher's count, a 1-2 count, goes up and gets that rise ball off of Sydney Peters, knocks her out of the game, and Auburn is up by 5.
Long way from the championship, obviously, but nobody's ever gone on a run like this. Ole Miss, the lowest seed to win the SEC tournament as an 8. 2017, that memorable team with Caitlin Lee. South Carolina, a 7 in 2000. Right now, Auburn trying to get to the quarterfinals. The 14th seed, and of course, the 14th seeds never made it as far. There have only been 2 years of 14 and 15 seeds with Oklahoma and Texas in the league. A win today, Auburn would play Florida tomorrow at 11. And if they win today and beat Florida tomorrow, they will have clinched a 500 record, be NCAA tournament eligible. Hard to believe with the number 6 strength of schedule, number 32 RPI, they'd miss out. So they're playing for their season. Texas A&M, the 6th seed, down by 5 with 9 outs to go. Ella Harrison still pitching and pitching beautifully after allowing 3 unearned runs in the first inning.
Her vertical separation is just so good and has been so good in this game, meaning she can go up with her rise ball and get really good break, and then down with her drop ball and do the same like that. Her drop ball moves about 8 to 10 inches down, and when you look at the separation of her rise ball that moves 8 to 10 inches up, I mean, that is such a great vertical spread. But this drop ball, both to lefties and righties, basically in that exact same location, has been a strikeout pitch for her today against A&M.
One away for Talon Edwards.
Ball down.
That strikeout against Kennedy Powell, speaking of vertical break, over 11 inches of down vertical break.
Ball up.
For folks who aren't as aware, can you contextualize that? How much is that compared to an average pitch?
That's a good question about the average. The best drop ball pitchers are going to get 8 to 12 inches of vertical break. So that is right there with the best of the best. Great question on the average, though. We need to ask some questions next door.
Pretty good, though, for a sophomore.
Very good.
Transfer from Rutgers.
I think that her ERA and her numbers are not telling of the type of stuff that she has. I think it's just a pitcher trying to figure out SEC play and work through the best hitters that she's faced in her entire career consecutively. She has really good stuff. People knew her as a freshman at Rutgers, and even then she was turning some heads with how good of a season that she had and pulling out her numbers of from synergy and looking at her break and swings and misses and chase. They knew she had good stuff.
4th in the SEC in innings pitched, 4th in games pitched. And S.J. Guerin, who was just an absolute workhorse last year, has had a tough year for Auburn, so Harrison hasn't had a ton of help on the staff. The 3-2 for Talon Edwards is elevated out of play. Now, if Auburn can get a little more pitching depth next year, maybe Ella Harrison doesn't have to throw as much. Maybe she can be a little bit fresher. Does have 3 ranked wins this year. Teams ranked at the time: Clemson, Oregon, and a shutout of Florida, who the Tigers could see tomorrow.
Which is tough to do with Florida's great offense. And that was in Gainesville too, I believe, when she did that.
It's the first shutout loss for Florida in Gainesville since February 19th, 2024. Sophomore a long way from Clarence, New York. 3-2 for Edwards, again driven to right and foul and out of play. Clarence, New York, by the way, outside of Buffalo.
I was literally going to ask you, knowing that you're from New York, where that was.
I had never heard of it until ready for this tournament. And my sister went to the University of Buffalo, so I really never heard of it. That ball off the glove of the first baseman, Adams, and then it just died on the grass. So Edwards is the first base runner to reach in the last 8. That'll be an error against Adams, her 10th of the year.
Here's a look from the ump cam down the first baseline, which is pretty cool that we have that here at the SEC tournament.
Thank you. Got it.
A&M's going to pinch run here. Down 8-3. Trisha Ford will bring in Haley Golden as a pinch runner. Try and draw the Aggies a little bit closer. So Edwards out of the game for now. Edwards has reached base twice on a strikeout pass ball and then an error. So 0 for 3, but she's been on base twice.
Well, this is a good time for a timeout here with Maya Perez coming up and Riker Chasen coming to speak to Ella Harrison and Ratliff about how they want to approach this at bat. You're up by 5. You have some options here. However, you still want to pitch her carefully. It's not like you want to go at her. You want to either pitch around her or make her get herself out, because I'm coming from a, you don't want to give A&M any offensive momentum right now. Seems like they're a little bit down. That ball off the bat of Edwards was well hit, but they've been popping up a lot. So need to be on the same page about how you want to approach this bat against Maya Perez, knowing that one big swing by her could give A&M a ton of momentum still with outs to play with in this game.
Perez is getting the full Bri Ellis treatment today. 8 pitches seen, 8 balls. On base percentage .615. Will she ever get anything to hit? Got a strike there right around the knees.
That would be a tough pitch to hit anyway. Pitcher's pitch there, getting the strike.
And another one.
Basically the exact same spot. One a drop ball, one a changeup. Tunneling those 2 pitches, one at 68, then one at 55. See if she goes right back to that same spot, low and away.
Goes inside.
I would have stayed out. She's really good, though, at throwing to that back foot of the lefties. It's just tough to sneak one inside against Maya Perez with how quick her hands are.
We almost lost a camera operator. Chase was in the line of fire right by the dugout there. All good, Chase? All good. Not protected by a net like our SEC Now crew. Perez goes up to chase a pitch way up and out of the zone. And the ball lands next to the plate, and it'll be a foul ball.
I mean, how lucky did Maya Perez get, and also Auburn at the same time? That was just a crazy play. Auburn would have wanted that to be a fair ball, though, and just tag Maya Perez and get her out chasing that rise ball.
This is something Trisha Ford talked to us about on Monday. She said sometimes Maya gets antsy when she's not getting pitched, and there was an at-bat against Oklahoma where they were trying to walk her, and she swung and hit a ball, came to the dugout and said, they weren't even trying to pitch me, and I got myself out. Seems to be in full chase mode right now. And this ball's grounded foul as well, so that's 4 foul balls after falling behind 0-2.
Well, you talk to any power hitter that gets pitched around on a regular basis, and that is one of the most difficult things, is to have patience and to still make a pitcher throw strikes and to not chase. You just want to get a hit so bad. You're used to barreling things up. You want to hit a home run, especially when you're down by 5. You want in on the action.
Ball cut.
Finally takes one. Off speed high, that's 1-2.
Going back to that really big shift on her too, where Hastings is playing directly behind Harrison, and Roebuck, the third baseman, is playing basically at shortstop where she's starting.
Perez slams it foul.
In the outfield, playing her really deep. Womack is playing with their heels on the warning track, and so is Shaw as well as Walker. I mean, all 3 outfielders are about as deep as you possibly can get.
Yeah, Shaw's basically the 4th member of our studio crew right now. Another 1-2 for Maya Perez. Swing and a foul ball again. 6 2-strike foul balls. She fell behind 0-2, and she has seen 7 pitches since falling behind 0-2. Grinding her way through this at-bat against Harrison. The pitch count's up to 91 for Auburn sophomore. Pinch runner Golden still at first. 1 out, bottom 5, 5-run game. Perez puts it in play finally. A moon ball into right, away back toward the wall, and out of here. It looked like a simple pop-up off her bat, but it just kept going and going and going, and Perez has powered A&M back to within 3. Her 18th home run of the season and first extra base hit in the last 5 games. What a battle by Maya Perez.
It's always a decision. Are you going to pitch to her or are you not going to pitch to her? And they decided to pitch to her, and she fouled off so many pitches to get a changeup that she was a little out in front of, but she's just so strong, still able to get it out of her. And this was a close call here. Good thing that Maya Perez stayed behind the runner there and did not pass her just looking at the ball go over the fence, because that would not have been good for A&M.
And some bubbles have floated into the booth now. The A&M fans blowing bubbles after home runs. Perez has made this an 8-5 game. A 9-pitch at-bat with Edwards ended up as an error, and then a 10-pitch at-bat ends up as a home run for Maya Perez. As much raw power as just about anybody in the country. And that home run number would be a lot higher if she wasn't pitched around so frequently.
I mean, she had this no doubt 31 walks in SEC play alone.
It's crazy. It's crazy. She's got 52 walks, 13 strikeouts on the year. She's been hit by almost as many pitches as she struck out. Just a preposterous stat line. And now a 4-pitch walk of Michaela Work. And Ella Harrison has hit the skids here. A&M down by 6 against Mississippi State last month, rallied back to win. They're trying to rally from down 5 today, and they will send another pinch runner out as Maya and her teammates celebrate on the railing. Ansley Gross is in as the pinch runner. Worked the designated player out of the game for the time being, and it looks like Ella Harrison's day will be done. Yesterday, Harrison only made it one batter into the third time through the order, got an out, and Chris Malveaux took her out. Today, third time through the order, a strikeout, but then Edwards reaches on an error. Perez homers, Work walks. And for a second straight day, she'll be replaced by Charlie Butler. Well, next Tuesday, SEC Inside grants you an all-access pass to this SEC softball tournament. Never before seen footage and sounds from the week right here in Lexington. It'll be Tuesday night at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, right here on SEC Network. There's already been so much drama in just 3+ games at the tournament, and 3 more to come today. Arkansas, Mississippi State, our next game. The 10 and the 7 seeds. Well, this was a winning formula for Auburn yesterday. Harrison went 4 yesterday, and then Butler gave up 2 earned runs yesterday. 2 earned, though 5 total runs today. What do you think of her outing and A&M's at-bats against her?
I think that Ella Harrison looked really good. You see what she's capable of. And you know what? I think that Ella Harrison is going to be a star in the SEC her junior and senior years, be able to build on everything that she learned as a sophomore this season. She has really good stuff, a great pitching coach in Riker Chasen, and I'm excited for the future of Ella Harrison, and Auburn fans should be too. I really think she's going to be a future star pitcher in our league.
She leaves with the lead at 3, and here's Charlie Butler. Tremendous yesterday in relief. Did not strike out a batter, but not a lot of hard contact. Got a ton of outs on the ground and picked up the win as Auburn beat Missouri.
Yeah, she throws, I think, at about 65, 66 miles an hour, but Missouri did have a difficult time getting their barrels to her pitches. I think she throws a heavy ball, especially inside to right-handed hitters.
Well, here's the big pinch hitter for Texas A&M. Maddie Sawhney, 8 for 17 as a pinch hitter this year. She'll bat in the 5 spot for KK Dement and grounds the first pitch foul off herself.
That ended up hitting off of her foot, and you could tell that Maddie Sawhney, because Charlie Butler likes to throw inside to right-handed hitters, is already starting to sell out a little bit for the inner half by stepping open toward third base. In the middle of the windup, when Charlie Butler was delivering, that left foot started to stride open toward third base.
Maddie with a fly ball to center field, sends Womack back in front of the wall, and she makes the catch. And a bold move by the pinch runner Gross. She is called out at second to end the inning. Trisha Ford will call, it appears, for a replay review here and call for a challenge.
Challenge in the ruling on the field, plays under further review.
So the pinch runner Gross tried to get the hand in there and may well have on that look.
Looks safe to me, but man, risky, great throw by Womack. The hand gets there just before the glove does.
And does she keep the hand on the base? It looks like she does. This is from the ump cam. What a great look. Pretty amazing throw by Manaya Womack, who has 2 outfield assists on the year. Auburn, Chris Malveaux rave about what a great athlete she is.
Well, and great communication by Auburn, because it's not very often that just a fly ball to center field, you see a runner from first base tag. So the infield has to be communicating on that to let her know to be able to make that great throw and have a chance.
Trisha Ford uses one of her 2 coaches' challenges.
After review, the call on the field has been changed. The runner is safe at second base. Texas A&M retains their challenge. They have 2 remaining.
So the Aggies have both of their challenges left. Great throw by Womack, but the call correctly overturned.
She's all the way out on the warning track when she catches it, still gets behind it. It gives her team a chance to make that double play. Man, that was so close. And that is a long throw from all the way out there in the warning track.
Well, now Auburn's going to ask if maybe Gross left early from first base. They could challenge that part of the play, so we could have a challenge on a challenge here. Megan Raymond's going to talk to Chris and Kate Malveaux. So it was a flyout from Maddie Sowney and a bold move by the pinch runner Gross. She advanced to second, called out, overturned on the Texas A&M challenge. Again, each team has 2 coach challenges. Let's see if they even have a case.
Like she left on time. But it's a great question. I mean, that is like right on time. She really living on the edge there with how close that was, but nothing going.
So Ariel Kowalewski, runner at second, 2 out.
Ball up.
Been a few minutes since Charlie Butler had thrown a pitch there because of the review and then the conversation. Kowalewski with a 2-run double in the first inning. Popped out to short in the third.
Ball.
And takes ball 1. A&M has a runner in scoring position for the first time since the second inning. Trailing 8-5 in the second round game. Winner gets Florida in the quarterfinals tomorrow. Kowalewski to left field, into foul territory, and a diving catch made by Shaw. A spectacular grab by Kylie Shaw right along the left field line.
She wanted to get in on the action. Michaela Walker had a great catch in right field. Womack almost had that double play in center field, and now Kylie Shaw covers a ton of ground for the final out, where A&M was continuing to threaten. Charlie Butler loves that catch.
Well, coming up, we'll get you set for Arkansas's debut in this tournament. Ella McDowell is going to join us pregame as they get set to take on Mississippi State in game 2. But ladies, holy homers in this game.
We asked for offense, and be careful what you wish for because both teams are putting the power in the bats today.
Yeah, 5 home runs combined, amazing. But how about the defense? Saw Kylie Shaw diving on the line. Got to give my Audi some love.
She was loving it.
I was going to say, the Audi's out here. She was loving it. Kevin?
We have some for everybody in this game. We got power, we get diving catches, we've got replay reviews, we've got Auburn, a 14 seed, leading 8-5, trying to keep its season alive. We look forward to hearing from Courtney and Tori and Haley after the game as we get set for Arkansas, Mississippi State. Always love when we have a great game like this to set the table, set a day, and remember that we have still 3 games left, including the Tennessee Lady Vols and then LSU, Georgia, and a good 8-9 game after this. Here's the ball flipped out of play by Kylie Shaw, who just made that great diving catch.
That's how it always works out. Like, of course she's leading off this inning after making that diving catch in left field.
Very happy that Alyssa was able to dodge that ball as well. Coming in really hot to the sideline spot as Alyssa just gets pampered with her makeup and sunscreen. Shaw to second base and a diving catch made against her by Edwards.
It was something about the way that the ball landed in Edwards' glove when she hit the ground that actually helped her catch that, because it hit the heel of her glove and just kind of stuck in there. This is one of those catches that I think if it lands anywhere but this position inside of her glove, that it might hit with the angle that her glove was going down. It might hit the ground and pop out. So that perfect position right there in the heel allowed her to catch that.
Talon Edwards was the first Oklahoma State Gold Glove winner. Last year won it at third base and has played a mean second base here for Texas A&M. 8-5 game. Kate Munnerlyn, the third Aggie pitcher of the game. Got 3 outs in the 5th inning. Stranded a couple of runners in scoring position. We didn't know if it would be Sydney Lessentine or Sydney Peters today. They both pitched. They were both largely ineffective, allowing 8 runs in 4 innings. And A&M's trying to build a little more pitching depth here heading into the NCAA tournament. Tricia Ford said it was good to get Kate Munnerlyn back out there last weekend. Just her 20th appearance of the year, a .552 ERA. But some big outs here as her team tries to fight back in the game.
She pitched really well against Oklahoma, and she also got a start in the Texas series in Austin and pitched well against them. I think that ERA has had moments where she's had some innings and some appearances kind of get out of hand, but she's had some good moments against the best offenses in the SEC.
And Hastings goes way up top to chase that from Munnerlyn, her second strikeout in relief.
It's a really nice changeup. All these A&M pitchers have a great changeup, working with Tricia Ford, and goes upstairs with the rise ball, throwing that a lot this year. Getting the chase of Hastings, that lefty on lefty matchup is always going to be difficult, present challenges.
Stop catch.
Kayla Walker got the party started with a first inning homer for Auburn. First of 4 for the Tigers today. They trailed 3-1 after 1 though, then led 8-3 going into the bottom of the 5th. Perez's 2-run homers made it 8-5. 4 home runs, 8 runs, the most in an SEC tournament game for Auburn in the Tigers' 25th appearance in the SEC tournament.
Ball.
They were 1 and done the last 2 years and 4 of their last 5. They haven't won 2 games of the SEC tournament since 2019. Walker chases strike 2.
You can tell that changeup is just difficult for them to pick up, especially with how Auburn had been looking every single other inning. Remember, it's been just about every inning that they've hit a home run. Just that 3 up, 3 down, top of the 4th inning, shut them down.
Ball.
Waterland in search of a 3-up, 3-down inning. Walker to short. A line drive caught by DeMint. Couple of line drives on the infield. A&M has 6 outs to get 3 runs.
The 2026 SEC Softball Tournament on the SEC Network is presented by T-Mobile, America's best network.
Coming up next, the Arkansas Razorbacks are ready to party. Good vibes for the Razorbacks, who were the SEC Tournament champions a couple of years ago. There's Courtney Deifel talking to Sam Ricketts. 2 head coaches getting ready for Mississippi State and Arkansas. 2 coaches who have rebuilt those programs. Really rebuilt as much as built those programs. Arkansas, national power, and Mississippi State trying to become a top 16 seed. They would need to win today to be in the hosting mix, we believe. Never hosted a regional. Ground ball down to third, picked on a short hop by Roebuck, and she throws out Kelsey Mathis. So Charlie Butler has come on in relief, and she has retired the first 3 Aggies she's faced. Auburn is 5 outs away from the SEC quarterfinals as a 14 seed. They are 2 wins away from becoming eligible for the NCAA tournament. Game under 500 right now. Here's Parsley Allen. Allen first pitch swinging and drops a foul. Seven, 8, 9 for the Aggies here, which means Powell and Edwards and Perez, the big bats, 1, 2, 3, will get another shot in this game. Paisley Allen ready for an 0-1. 0-2 for Allen. Fouled out to short, struck out swinging. Transfer from Georgia. Lifts a fly ball to center. Womack back at the wall and gone! The 6th home run of this game, the 2nd straight for the Aggies. It's the sophomore Paisley Allen with her 7th of the year, and it's 8-6.
Paisley Allen's bat has come on strong here toward the end of the year. Barreling up pitches. This is an 0-2 count. That pitch does not get up enough, and she is just on time with it. Looked like a rise ball that she wanted to expand the zone. Instead, Paisley Allen expands it out of here, out of the center field fence and out of the reach of Womack.
Had a 3-run home run in the finale against Oklahoma Saturday. Got the home run hat. Texas A&M now with 3 straight runs after falling behind 8-3, and now we have a fence delay because when Womack went up, she knocked that pad out of place on the fence. This will be apparently more difficult than it looks. How many SEC tournament volunteers does it take to pop back a fence pad? And the answer is 2.
So the woman who ran over there, her name's Sarah. She's been the tournament director out here. She has been working tirelessly. She said, going back to last year to get this ballpark ready, hasn't gotten a lot of sleep, but she's done a great job here, so shout out to her.
Yes, thank you, Alyssa. Shout out to Sarah. Let's give Sarah some love. There are so many folks we will never know their names and maybe see them skirting around who help put these tournaments on. I'm glad Sarah got a little assistance there as she was on a solo mission to fix the fence. Sarah's got her credential hanging around her back right now.
And she was first on the scene for something like that too, right? I mean, she is just on it.
Way to go, Sarah. And now Sarah's phone's gonna be blowing up. Deservedly so. 8-6 game. Frankie Vrajel takes ball 1. Auburn had the worst ERA of any SEC team this year. 482 overall, 628 in league games. Trying to see this through against a very good offense, and here come the sophomores for the Aggies as Frankie knocks a 1-2 pitch through the middle. It's a single for Vrajel, and A&M, which trailed by 5, will bring the tying run to the plate, trying to match what Oklahoma did in last year's semifinal against Arkansas for the largest comeback in SEC tournament history. Kennedy Powell has nearly homered today. It doubled off the wall in the second. Back-to-back hits out of the 8 and 9 spots. Allen, the sophomore, homers on an 0-2. Vrajel, the sophomore, singles on a 1-2. So Charlie Butler is getting ahead of Aggie hitters, but not finding the finishing touch. Powell lays down a bunt. It's a beauty. A bunt base hit for Kennedy Powell, and Texas A&M will bring Talon Edwards to the plate as the go-ahead run with only 1 away.
Watch Kennedy Powell slide her hand up the barrel, and when you look at where she's holding her left hand on the barrel, it is just so far up. She's doing that on purpose. She told me that she does that, slides her hand basically in the middle part of the barrel to be able to find that more dead spot on the end of the bat. Her teammates ask her what the secret is for her deadly bunts that she has, and look at how far up her left hand, look at where she puts it on the barrel. So her fingers are at this point exposed to the pitch that's coming, and her teammates say, like, how do you do that? We're worried that her hand is going to get hit, but she has such good barrel control that that's how she deadens it. And that was even a little bit closer to the grip than what she normally does. Usually it's even a little bit further out, but she is known for her bunts and her speed.
It's her 14th bunt hit of the year. This fan loves it. Well, actually, that fan's in the Auburn section, but it doesn't matter. Becky, look at that bunt.
Love big bunts, and you cannot lie, right?
26 multi-hit games on the year for Powell. That's a team high as well. And Riker Chasen is out to talk to Charlie Butler, who had a lot easier time closing yesterday's game than she is having today's.
Kennedy Powell is so detailed on those bunts, Kevin, that I asked her, you know, when did she start her footwork? When did she start to slide her feet into that footwork that she goes through? If it's 65 miles an hour or harder, she starts to slide her feet when the pitcher is about 3/4 of the way through. Lower than 65, she won't start until the pitcher is releasing it. So that's how detailed Kennedy Powell is.
Ball's out.
That's how you get to lead the SEC in hits in conference play. Great skills, great smarts, and 2 more hits today. Setting up Talon Edwards.
Ball.
Ooh, takes ball 2. And don't forget, the big bomber is next. Maya Perez, who's walked twice and homered, on deck after Talon Edwards. 2-0 pitch.
Ball.
Edwards takes ball 3. Edwards takes a strike right down the heart. Auburn does have a couple of pitchers up. That's Harrison, who started the game, and S.J. Guerin, the lefty, with Maya Perez looming. First a 3-1 to Edwards, and it's a strike, and it's 3-2.
Talon Edwards doesn't agree with that. She's going to have to rebound and quickly put that one behind her to get ready for this full count.
Player who said this has been the best year she's had in her whole career. Her 1 year at A&M. And she lines the ball off the end of the bat to center. It drops in front of Womack for a base hit. It's going to load the bases because Vrajel had to hold up and got a late break. And now the bags are full for the home run hitter from an inning ago. Edwards shimmies after a single, and here comes Maya Perez.
They pitched to her. She had 2 walks before this home run, and she came up with a 5-run lead and a runner on, and Auburn decided to pitch to her. And Kevin, we had talked about it, saying that if they chose to pitch to her, there was a chance she would hit a home run, and it would give A&M offensive momentum, and it did.
Ball.
The home run from Perez in games that have been tracked had the highest hang time of any home run hit in the country this year, 5.1 seconds. And it was after the 10th pitch he saw from Ella Harrison. 1-0 here is inside.
Remember, A&M's biggest comeback was against Mississippi State earlier in the year. One of the biggest swings of that comeback was a Maya Perez grand slam against Mississippi State.
2-0 from the freshman Charlie Butler. From the frying pan to the fire. Perez off the end of the bat, pops out to second. What a big pitch by Butler. She gets a pop out from the powerful Perez. The runners have to hold, and there are 2 away.
Maya Perez found herself in a hitter's count. It was out in front of that pitch, hit it off the end of the bat. You know she's frustrated with herself to not come through in that moment, but great pitch by the freshman against the All-American.
And now Michaela Ward, who could be an All-American. First pitch strike to Ward. Her first double of the year, an RBI double in the first, a fly out and a walk since. 19 home runs to lead the team, including 2 grand slams. The 0-1 from Butler. Ward drills it foul. and 2 for Michaela Wark. 2 of Texas A&M's 6 grand slams this season. But she's going to have to fight for her life here in an 0-2 hole.
Look out for that changeup that Butler has thrown well today.
3 two-strike hits already in the inning for A&M. And Work fouls off an 0-2, riding right in on her fists.
And because I was expecting a changeup in that count, that rise ball up and in her hands, I felt like it was 70 miles an hour and jammed her up a little bit, at least to me, and I think that Work felt that way too. Butler has to be careful with 2 strikes. She's been so good at getting ahead, but it's been tough for her to put away.
See if she can get her to chase again on 0-2. Work. Little fly ball, right center field. It ducks in for a hit. 2-run score, and Work has tied the game. The 4th 2-strike hit of the inning. Texas A&M, with 5 unanswered, has knotted the score at 8.
Michaela Work is so strong. Gets jammed again. Butler goes up and in on her hands, and Work is so strong. She's just able to muscle it out to the outfield because of Work and Perez. All their power, Shaw, Womack, and Walker are playing so deep. It created big holes in the outfield, and with 2 outs, A&M was running on the ball, put in play to tie up this game.
The 4th best run producer in the SEC, Michaela Work, now with a team-high 68 RBIs in 52 games. Edwards went to 3rd. She's the go-ahead run. And KK Dement, who was pinch hit for last time, will bat. A 5-run Auburn lead, just an inning ago. And Trisha Ford's team searching for one heck of a comeback. Popped up by Dement. This is on the infield and into the glove of Wilson. Texas A&M ties it. 1 inning left in regulation. The 14 and the 6 seeds putting on an instant classic in Lexington. It was 1-0 Auburn. It was 3-1 A&M. It was 8-3 Auburn. It's 8-8. The first game of 4. You know what you got to do with this SEC tournament, Amanda? You got to get your popcorn ready. It's that kind of a tournament. It's popcorn, it's home runs, it's theatrics, it's comebacks, it's crazy stuff.
We said it before the first game. This is going to be the best SEC tournament ever. Manifested.
You're willing it.
And so far, these games have been really good. The pitchers have stepped up in moments. The hitters have, especially Auburn, have been hitting a lot of home runs. Been a lot of fun to watch early on in this tournament. We have so many games left.
And we have at least 1 inning left in this one. Kate Munnerlyn, who came in for potential mop-up duty, is now potentially the pitcher of record here for A&M. What's critical now for both teams and both pitchers in the 7th inning?
I think just in general for them to make pitches with 2 strikes and work from ahead as Munnerlyn falls behind on a 2-0 count here. But for Munnerlyn, working her changeup, and for A&M's defense and Auburn's defense on the other side to step up and make plays. It's going to come down to who makes the last mistake here in this game.
Annalie Adams is homered. Anaya Womack on deck has homered.
Ball.
Adams is in a 3-0 count here. 4-5-6 for Auburn. It'll be 6-7-8 for A&M in the bottom of the inning. And Ariel Kowalewski comes out to chat with Munnerlyn. Auburn homered in the first 3 innings and 4 of the first 5 innings. A&M's gotten home runs in the 5th and 6th as part of their comeback.
Ball's out.
A walk to Adams, a 4-pitch walk. Auburn has the leadoff runner on for the 3rd time today. And the go-ahead run at first to start the 7th. And Chris Malveaux will pinch run for that go-ahead run. Georgia Lessman, his primary pinch runner on the season. Lessman is not a stolen base threat, even though she's the pinch runner here. She's only 3 for 10 career as a base stealer, but she does give a speed upgrade on Adams. Mania Womack.
Ball's out.
Close first pitch to go Womack's way.
And Talon Edwards will also talk to Munnerlyn after Ariel Kowalewski. So 5 straight balls as Kate Munnerlyn trying to find this outside corner against the right-handed hitters, and Auburn just continuing to show a lot of patience. Despite facing the end of the game, you could start to feel that adrenaline and pressure. Great at bats by them here.
The Auburn dugouts chanting ball 6 at Munnerlyn, who's missed with their first 5 of the inning. And there's a bunt drop down by the 5-hitter Womack. She advances the pinch runner Lessman to second, so 5 straight balls thrown to start the inning. And then a sacrifice bunt, just the 2nd of the season for Womack, puts the go-ahead run in scoring position with 1 out. You don't often see the 5-hitter bunt to get to the 6 and 7. I wonder how much of that is the 7-hitter's Haven Roebuck, right?
I think that's a lot to do with it, in the way that she's been swinging the bat, playing for 1 run, a lot of confidence, and Destiny Rodriguez for the at-bats that she also has put together in this game.
Rodriguez up the middle, that's a base hit. Lessman to third base will stop right there. A dart of a throw in from Mathis. And it's 1st and 3rd, 1 out. First hit of the game, 2nd time on base for Rodriguez as the Tigers look to strike back.
Able to sit back on an off-speed pitch here, and Rodriguez stays inside of it to use the middle of the field. Kate Malveaux ends up holding up the runner at third base, just not take any chances there, as Mathis had a good beat on that.
Auburn will use a 2nd pinch runner. Talia Martin in to run for Rodriguez. And Haven Roebuck, in her last 4 plate appearances, has homered twice, walked twice, and driven in 4. Here's the one from the 3rd inning today.
I think she's hitting these couple of home runs that she's had in the SEC tournament and drawing these walks because she's just being so patient, going up with a plan, not giving in to a pitcher's pitch, knowing what she's looking for. And the walks tell you everything that she needs to know, that she's just having patience while swinging a hot bat because she's getting the pitch that she wants to hit.
First pitch strike on the inside. This freshman from Winterville, North Carolina, takes a deep, deep breath. Lessman at third, Martin at first, the pinch runners. 1-1 to Roebuck, who said after the game yesterday that she's been struggling a little bit mentally, and she thinks people know that. So she said to just relax and not overthink before the game-winning home run. It felt amazing. Munnerlyn drops in an off-speed strike 2. The sophomore from Los Gatos, California, Kate Munnerlyn, has the advantage now. Here's her 1-2. You can see Roebuck in between every pitch, breathing deeply, trying to center herself. Stay in the moment for an Auburn team that's been staying in the fight. She takes ball 2. Taking a lot of steps, backpedaling after every pitch.
Sticking to her routine.
Quick yoga classes in the middle of softball. Roebuck swings and misses. A changeup low, and Munnerlyn gets her for the second out.
What a big out by Kate Munnerlyn after just trying to figure out this strike zone here in the 7th inning. We'll see how she pitches Roebuck. That is a big call with the curveball to get that for a strike, and then she gets ahead in a 1-2 count with the change, goes back to the changeup that she fouls off, and then Roebuck doesn't swing at the rise, finally goes back to the changeup to get her with the strikeout. Went to that changeup several times.
So now it's Ava Ratliff who gave Roebuck the winning pep talk before the winning home run yesterday. Ratliff is 1 for 3 today, 1 for 6 in the tournament. 8-8 game, 2 outs, 2 on, top 7. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Thinking that at bat to Roebuck, Kevin, that first pitch, the curveball that Munnerlyn got the call, set up the entire rest of the bat. Pitcher's pitch that looked about a ball off the plate, but she got the strike call and stayed in command of that AB.
Munnerlyn had a 5-inning perfect game earlier in the year against Kennesaw State. First Aggie perfect game in 21 years. She can really spin it. She's been back in the mix here down the stretch. Her 2-1 is low.
And they have it. You can hear them communicating about the changeup in the dugout, especially with that one. So I don't know if that has been happening and I just haven't heard it, or if it was that one especially, but they got really loud on that changeup.
Right in there again with a changeup, taken by Ratliff. It's 3-2.
Didn't hear it as much, despite it being a changeup, to get her back into the count. That changeup is her best pitch. We'll see if she goes to it again.
3-2 with Lessman the go-ahead run at third. Foul back. She did go back to it. Six 2-out runs for Auburn today. 6 for 12 with 2 outs in the game. Adams walked, a sac bunt, a Rodriguez single, a strikeout. First and third, 2 down. 8-8 game. Fouled off again. Changeup after changeup after changeup from Kate Munnerlyn.
Good to see her just take a deep breath too. It's so frustrating when a hitter has this type of at bat against you, where you're throwing your best pitch, you think you're going to get her. It's constant pressure with the full count, knowing that you have to come with a strike here.
The sophomore to the freshman for an 8th time, and it's fouled away again. Up to 64 that time, finally changed speeds.
A bit of a swing mode here. I feel like if Munnerlyn could throw her changeup and it not be up in the count, but throw it at the knee, she either freezes Ratliff or gets her to ground out.
Have to throw her 60th pitch in relief. Another 3-2. Fly ball center field. That's well struck. That ball is gone! A mob of Auburn Orange at home plate surrounding the freshman catcher, Ava Ratliff, whose words of wisdom propelled Haven Roebuck to glory yesterday, and whose bat may have done the same for Auburn today.
Talked about where to throw this changeup, and look at the height, belt high at the knees. I bet you it gets her out or a ground ball to the outfield, or excuse me, infield, but that one that high, Ratliff able to barrel it up. She made Munnerlyn throw that 5-6 times in the at-bat, and she was just ready for it, did not fool her at all, knew too she was gonna come with that change.
Absolutely amazing stuff from Ava Ratliff. The 5th home run of the game for the Auburn Tigers, who give up 5 in a row and then storm back at an inning where you thought maybe they're playing for 1 with the bunt. They get 3 from a freshman who had just 2 home runs on the season before that swing. Five home runs for Auburn, just the 2nd time they've hit 5 this year, and they do so in a must-win game in a week where their NCAA tournament hopes are hanging in the balance. A little ground ball off the bat of Wilson here. 2 outs, 2 strikes, and 1 massive, unforgettable swing for Ava Ratliff.
How do you not have the biggest smile again on your face in this tournament? Ava Ratliff, what an at-bat. A changeup that she sent out of here, a 3-run home run, and another freshman steps up for Auburn.
Get the best in the game, brought to you by T-Mobile. The 14th seeded Auburn Tigers, 4-20 in the league this year, have bashed 5 home runs today. The 5th from Ava Ratliff, their freshman in the 8th spot, her 3rd home run of the year, a tie-breaking 3-run shot to give Auburn an 11-8 lead in the 7th. What a crazy, crazy line score this is, as Auburn is 3 outs away from the quarterfinals, and Ella Harrison, the starting pitcher, re-enters and gets a first pitch pop-up down the line and caught by Shaw. 1 out on 1 pitch off the bat of Ariel Kowalewski. The first go-ahead home run, Amanda, for Auburn in the 7th inning all season comes from Ava Ratliff, and now the starting pitcher, Harrison, will look to be the closing pitcher.
So much fight from this Auburn team. The later innings have been their innings for a comeback in the go-aheads.
Ball.
As a reminder, 3 games ago, Auburn lost to LSU in a game where there were 25 runs scored. And LSU scored all 25 of the runs. As bad a loss as you're ever going to see. They had to play another game that day. They lose 7-2. They come to the tournament, and you would have understood if they were a completely broken team. But they beat Missouri, who had to win to finish 500. They beat Missouri 6-2. They knocked Missouri out of NCAA tournament contention. They step on Texas A&M early lead, 8-3 into the 5th, give up 5 runs in a row, and get 3 back. And the Tigers, who must win and have to win again tomorrow to be eligible for the tournament, are 2 outs away from putting themselves in that position. Two strikes here on Mathis, 0 for 3 today. Struck out against Harrison in the 4th. 2-2.
You know what else I was thinking about is how big that pitch to Maya Perez was with the bases loaded, less than 2 outs by Charlie Butler, and just getting her to flare out to second base.
And she gave up a 2-run single to the next batter, but then got a pop out. That could have been a 3-4 run rally easily as the Razorbacks lie in wait along the wall, waiting to face Mississippi State in a game that was scheduled for 2 and is not going to start at 2. 2-2 coming. Struck her out. A very late cut by Mathis. And the Tigers are an out away.
It's a drop ball that is up in the zone. You can see that over the top spin. It just stays up and Mathis swings through it. Well, Harrison made to start this game, exit, and come back in to finish it. Tells you the belief that they have in Harrison.
Paisley Allen, home run last at bat. A&M needs Allen and then Frankie Vrajel, the 8 and 9 hitters to reach to have a chance here. Maya Perez a long way away. The 1-0. Down and in. The last time Auburn won back-to-back games against SEC teams, 2 months tomorrow, a March 7th doubleheader against the only team they finished ahead of in the league, Kentucky. On the verge of beating Missouri and Texas A&M on the way to the SEC tournament quarterfinals. Only the second 14 seed in tournament history with the expanded league a year ago. A line drive to center from Allen will extend the game. 2 hits for Paisley Allen and the tying run is on deck.
And for Texas A&M, the right fielder, number 8, Frankie Vrajel.
Vrajel had a base hit her last time in the 6th. A&M scored 3 in the 6th. They'll need 3 here in the 7th. First pitch.
Ball.
Close one. Goes the way of the hitter. I said that a lot today. Megan Reedman's had a tighter strike zone for sure. Vrajel checks her swing accidentally. It's 1-1. Tied for the most runs in a game in SEC tournament history. And Auburn's 5 homers, the second most by a single team. Auburn team that had gone 1 and done the last 2 years. 4 of the last 5. Vrajel into left field. And the Cinderella Tigers are headed to the quarterfinals. 11-8 Auburn homers 5 times to take care of Texas A&M in this slugfest, and they are 1 win away from an unfathomable trip now to the NCAA tournament as they get back to 500 and set up a date with Florida.
Auburn showing the fight really since the first inning. Michaela Walker came up and hit that solo home run and just kept the good time offensive swings rolling for Auburn coming out of that Missouri game. I mean, they quickly got 2 outs. Remember, Walker hit that solo home run, and it was just like Auburn, like, all right, we're going to do this again. Big swings, great at bats, good start from Ella Harrison. Everybody contributing for those 11 runs that they scored against the 6th seed. Malvo's loving it, the team loving it. They at least get to extend their season one more day.
Just about 96 hours removed from one of the worst drubbings in SEC history, a 25-0 loss to LSU. Auburn has stormed into the quarterfinals. They will face Florida tomorrow morning, 1 win away from getting to 500 and becoming eligible for the NCAA tournament. The winner today, Ava Ratliff, her 7th inning home run was the game winner, and she's with Alyssa.
Ava, yesterday Haven had one of the big at-bats to get you guys to today, and she said you hyped her up before that moment. What did your teammates tell you before your go-ahead home run?
Well, we have this little signal that we do, and it's like this, and that's so like we know we're not alone in the box, and that we have each other, and we don't have to go without ourselves. We just stay within and be calm and know that we can do it, and if we don't, our teammates have our back. So I was just looking at my dugout, making eye contact with Des specifically, and she was like, you got it, like, just relax. And so I knew that I didn't have to do anything special. I just had to be myself and let my body do the work.
Your team hit 5 home runs today. What did you see from what your offense was able to accomplish against this group today?
We were just like sticking with our plan that we had and trying not to go for balls or everything, just find stuff over the plate. And I think that helped us just stay relaxed and help us go yard.
Y'all don't want this journey to end. What have these 2 wins been like so far in a brand new postseason here at the SEC tournament?
I mean, it's been awesome. Like we said, it's kind of like our season started over. Like, none of these past games really mean anything, and right now is what really means stuff. So we had this saying, like, don't let us win one, and now we're just rolling along with that. So
you've won 2, and you get another one tomorrow. Congratulations, Ava.
Thank you. War Eagle.
You know, last year, the great Cinderella story, if you can call it that, in the SEC was Ole Miss. They had a saying, don't let the Rebs get hot. And now for Auburn, it's don't let us win 1. They've won 2. They hit 5 home runs. Ava Ratliff out of the 8th spot. 2 home runs on the season. Number 3, a 3-run game winner in the 7th. Florida Gators better watch out. They've got Auburn tomorrow. What a start to this quarterfinal day 2. And before we get to game 2, Courtney, Tori, and Haley in the SEC Now studio.